Hi, my name is Robert. I am the admin for the martial arts community, the subforum on Quora, and we are running some threads, some video training threads in September of 2026, if you see this later, entitled Teach Me a Combination on the Bag. I'm going to stick with a hand combination today, and the reason is I've noticed a lot of the people following the forum are a little bit older, and I'm assuming they really don't have the ability to do kits. So just to give you a couple disclaimers to kind of go with this, and I'm going to try to keep this within 15 minutes, so I'm kind of moving this along. But to give you some disclaimers, one, I don't have a black belt in a kick punch system. I have a black belt in classical jiu-jitsu, but for kicking and punching, it's kind of, this is what I know. Part two is for disclaimers, if you have any wrist, elbow, or shoulder issues, don't do this. Talk to your primary care physician, talk to a doctor, don't go run down and hit the bag because you saw some videos. Within this idea, what I want to do is just give you something that you could take if you watch this video on Monday, and by Wednesday or Thursday you're either going to your buddy's basement or going into a gym and can start tapping a bag right away without use of gloves or hand mitts or anything. So I'm going to break this down into three pieces. The first piece is breath control. The second piece is footwork, and the third piece is handwork. Starting with the breath control, when you do bag work, the breath control is probably one of the most important things, if not the most important thing you can do. It's what's going to keep you from gassing out, a few seconds into this. And it's without a mouthpiece, just in a normal situation. What it looks like is you gulp like that and you push out. I'm going to exaggerate this a little bit for the camera if you don't mind, but you push it out. So to put that to a bag, I'll gulp in a little bit and then I'll push. Let me hit it less hard so it doesn't get drowned. You push it out as you hit the bag. So it's the breath work without any hand work is. You just kind of push it out every time you throw hands. So throw in like two hands, like that. The footwork we're going to use today, for the front leg, we're going to use a drop step for the jab. And for the back leg, we're going to use a turn step for the cross. With the drop step, it's a pretty rudimentary piece of footwork. That's why I want to kind of show it, because most people can pick it up and use it right away. Is all you're doing is you're just dropping your foot down. So you see, you're not picking it really far up, you're not lurching so much, you're just picking it up and you're dropping it. The drop step, it works on a parabola or an upside down U. The left side of the parabola, assuming your left side's forward, is the one we're working with today, not so much the right side. The right side is if you drop your rear foot, but I need to kind of make this shorter, so we're just going to work on the left side of the parabola. And what that means is that I can take this and pick different degrees to go at. So I can go straight in, I can take a little bit of an angle this way, or I can take a big bite and almost make it like a half of a pivot step or a short pivot step. This has some tactical advantages, being able to play with the drop step this way. One is that I can change the angles. I can sometimes come this way, sometimes I can come this way, sometimes I can take a bigger bite and come this way. The other one, which is more important, is I can change that to change the rhythm of it. So let's just say I'm throwing a jab cross, and I'm just going here, here, here. If I take a little bite on the first one, on the bite where I'm kind of sliding off, my right shoulder is closer to the bag than it was before. So a person that's, kind of working with me and moving around, they're reading this, they're reading this, they're reading this. And then when I change it, my right shoulder's closer so that my backhand shows up faster than it did before. So I can use it to kind of throw their rhythm off a little bit. The other piece that's kind of nice about stepping off this like this is that it allows me to put torque in the jab. So if I throw it straight, which isn't wrong, I'm just kind of coming straight in. If I step off like this, when I'm throwing it, to land it, I've got to turn my hips back this way, which adds a little bit of steam to the jab. So on the front hand again, we're just going to use the drop step, and it looks just like this. On the back foot, we're going to use the turn step, the back foot and the hook, which we'll do in a minute. The turn step looks like this. I roll my toes down. I feel really comfortable doing that even on concrete. I don't know why, I just do. However, that's not normal. Most people will turn it on the ball of their foot, and that's perfectly fine. I'm just kind of a weird turn step guy, and I just roll it up on my toes. But don't feel like you have to do that. This is fine. The other piece is that I am bow-legged. And what that means is that I can't knock my knees. So I can be pretty cavalier on how I turn my hips, and I'm not going to bang my knees together. It's pretty much impossible. However, if you're not bow-legged, you'll have to make the step a little shorter. You'll have to take a smaller bite, and you can't just throw your hip in it like I can, because if you knock your knees are hard. But to put that to the backhand, it looks like that. The last piece we're going to work on is the hands. With the hands, we're going to use palm strikes today. And with palm strikes, I'm going to make it really kind of loose. The nice thing about palm strikes is your hands are protected. They're safe. I can go into this bag every day and palm strike it, and I don't have to worry about hurting my hands. There's only a couple of rules as far as palm striking. I want to kind of keep everything in one unit. It doesn't matter if these are up or down so much. As a matter of fact, I'm kind of float back and forth, where sometimes I'm doing this and sometimes I'm doing this. But you want to keep them, loosely speaking, as one unit. If your thumb floats or your pinky floats, it probably doesn't matter that much, just to let you know. With the striking, I'm just going to get this little piece of meat that's right down here. However, if I mess it up and I hit it flat, it doesn't really matter that much. And you can see I let my fingers splay and everything. You probably could do that to a person and you're not going to hurt yourself. You're not going to bend your fingers back. And your wrist is already flexed, so you're probably not going to hurt your wrist. What hurts your wrist is if you punch, and if you're punching it, is that some people they'll mess it and their wrist will fold and they'll compress it and it'll sprain their wrist. It's obviously impossible if you're already flexing it to compress your wrist. Within the hand striking things, what we want to do is you want to hide your chin behind your shoulder. Let's see if I can do this at an angle. So if I'm throwing this jab, these are good jabs. Not as good jabs are ones where you're throwing it out here, but you're leaving your chin up. I want to kind of, let me do it from the profile. I want to kind of hide my chin behind my shoulder. And it's the same with the cross. So a good cross, palm cross, I'm kind of using my shoulder to hide my chin. Not as good as if I throw the same one, but I leave my chin up in the air. The last piece we're going to do is a palm hook. And a palm hook uses the same turn step. So we're only using 2 pieces of footwork today. And I'll usually step out a little bit and then I'll rotate into it. It's the same thing. When I throw it, I want to try to, as much as I can, kind of hide my jaw a little bit behind my shoulder. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn these into drills using 3 hand combinations. We're going to do jab, cross, jab, jab, cross, and jab, cross, hook using the drop step and the turn step with rhythm and breath. And what I'm hoping you do is if you look at this is that you don't just look at it and say, oh cool, this it's a cool video. I'm hoping you grab some of this, take it to a bag room and find a way to put it to use, assuming you don't have joint issues. So putting this to a drill with a jab cross, all I'm going to do is, don't worry about power, just you want to keep your elbows kind of tight. You want to exhale as you go. You can see I'm not breathing hard in this because I got my breath control down pretty good. But you just want to tap it like that and just build a rhythm. Put your phone on like 2 minutes, give or take, on a timer, and just do that for 2 minutes. And this powers it fine. I'll hit it hard in a minute so you can see some hard shots, but like this is fine. For the double jab, I'm just going to drop twice. So if I touch 2 jabs, And there's 3 as a hypothetical. Right, it's just every time the foot touches, the hand touches. Foot touches, hand touches. And you can see the turn stuff as I'm going. If I want to slice the jab, I'm going to step out here. Sorry, sometimes it's hard not to throw that hard when you're slicing because there's so much torque involved. And so all I'm doing is I'm putting the foot out here instead of putting it here. So that's it. If you're doing it that power and that speed, that's perfectly fine. And then the last one is jab cross hook. So you can see I'm turning a little bit and rotating back into it. I'm going to do this with a little bit more power just so you can see it. But for you, just unless you're really familiar with this, it's just jab cross, and just work on the flow, the shoulder position, the foot position, the footwork, and just building a flow as you kind of go. Harder, it would look something like and then to put it to shadow boxing, which I probably should have done first, but to put it to shadow boxing, you're just going to kind of flow through it. So it's jab cross, jab cross, jab cross, jab, jab, cross. Hopefully that is under 15 minutes. There is my quick video for hand techniques for use on the heavy bag. Hand pumps.